with the fly on his lip. And the picture of the Ethiopian starving children with the fly on their lip has become a notorious picture in all of our minds. We've all seen it. And when I see that picture, I think to myself, how bad does it have to get in someone's life like this little boy for him to sit there and not brush a fly off his lip? How horrible must his life be? How much pain and anguish and suffering must this child be in on a daily basis to where his entire normalcy in his existence that would normally brush a fly away now says, what does it matter? Let's just live with it. It's not even worth brushing the fly away because in the scope of my life, it's really nothing. How bad must it be? And the counterfeit version of kindness has really become the fly on the lip of most of Americans in this generation. What's the point in brushing it away? Why brush it away? Just live with it. In the scope of our pathetic understanding of love and the pain that we've been through, why not just live with it? And after living with it for a while, we actually prefer it. We like it that way. We get used to it. And people who didn't grow up in the same relationship filth that some of us grew up in, they see us with that emotional fly on the lip, and they think, why don't you brush it away? Get it out of your life. Like I said with that girl, why would you be with a guy like that? I didn't grow up the way she grew up. She probably came from a family where that sort of treatment was just every day. She was clearly in an extreme amount of pain. And it was like I saw a fly on her lip, and I was saying, why don't you just brush it? Take it away. Get that guy out of your life. So what is the counterfeit of kindness? The counterfeit version of kindness, here it is. Listen closely. Manipulation. That is what the enemy offers to replace kindness with manipulation. The moment manipulation is present, true kindness becomes voided out completely. Kindness must have nothing behind it for it to exist. It must stand completely on its own. And women, hear me well, especially you single women. Anytime a compliment is followed by a come on, it is not kindness. It's manipulation. Most of us, however, because of how we've been raised, we prefer the manipulation over the kindness. And when someone says or does something kind to us, no ulterior motives. When somebody approaches us and says something that's just pure kindness, it stands on its own. They don't want anything from you. They say or they do something purely kind. We respond by saying, what do you want from me? Right? Because that's our belief in our heart when it comes to kindness. It's our first response. What are you hiding? What are you up to? Why are you doing this? And unless we can see the manipulative reason behind their words, we start to feel uncomfortable. And it makes us uneasy. And we don't really like to be around that because we immediately think that person is deceiving us in one way. Somehow they're deceiving us because they're not coming right out with it. What's behind your words? Why did you do this? What do you want from me? They're lying about something. They're hiding something. And when most people encounter real kindness, it is amazing. They look as if they've seen a ghost. It just blows them away. And their face becomes flush. And it literally it's as though they've seen a ghost. Why? Because something invisible is holding it up. Something supernatural is behind real kindness. And all supernatural things make people uneasy. It scares them because there's no explanation for it. So we would rather have the counterfeit than the real thing because we don't like the uncomfortable feeling of not knowing what's going on behind a certain action. And we can't receive the real thing because we already believe the lie that's in our hearts. And this is why the lady in my office, when I began to speak kindness, she became uneasy. She began to fluster. She became uncomfortable, and she had to get up and leave. And the irony is, if I had have halfway through said, I'd like to take you out. Maybe you and I could get together. She would have responded to that better. Because it was expected, however, it never came. So she didn't know what I was up to. I have a friend from work. You ever had a friend from work take you out to lunch? Just say, I want to take you out to lunch. And as the check comes and they're paying for it, you usually say, I'll buy next time. Because I'm not going to be in debt. I'll buy next time. Because it's uncomfortable just letting someone do that for you. You ever have a friend at work, out of the blue, someone who you never would have thought about, all of a sudden walks up and gives you a Christmas present. They went out and bought you a Christmas present. They're not on your list. And you're like, oh, wow. Yeah, you know what? Yours is in the car. Hold on, let me go get it. You go to Target as fast as you can to pick up, And then you think, boy, I've got to come next year. I got to remember this. Because we don't like the uncomfortable feeling of encountering pure kindness. We don't like it. It makes us nervous. Remember that all counterfeits have to do with the flesh. All of these counterfeits have to do with the flesh. Manipulation feeds the flesh. Kindness feeds the heart. That's the difference. Manipulation is the counterfeit of kindness that feeds the flesh. Kindness is the real deal, and it feeds the heart. Kindness is an attribute of love. And folks, God is love, and love lasts forever. So kindness must be aimed at the forever part of you, and that is your heart. And here's the thing about kindness. The aim of kindness is always the heart. Always the heart. And here's the great thing. Hitting the heart is the reward. Kindness wants nothing from you. It just wants to hit your heart. And when it does, that's the reward. You following me? There's nothing else behind it. Manipulation is aimed at the flesh, and it always wants something in return. And most of us would rather be manipulated because we can at least have a hand in the situation. At least there's something we can do about it. We don't just have to sit there and receive it. And the most dangerous mistake that people can make in this world is when they mistake niceness for kindness. That is a deadly mistake. Now, niceness isn't bad. I'm not putting niceness down, but it's not kindness. And many times we mistake the two. Kind and nice are worlds apart. Anyone can be nice. Folks, a while back, one of my daughters was wearing her training underwear. And I get up early in the morning to get ready for work. And she's a little sick, and she basically fills those underwear with diarrhea. So how do you take training underwear off that have a full load of diarrhea in them? How do you do that without getting it everywhere? You don't. There's no way to do it. So I take her in the bathroom, and it's like that game I used to play as a kid, Operation, I'm like, as slowly as I can, I'm pretty sure she reaches down and puts her hand in it.